All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever had that little moment of panic, when a recipe asks for grams, but your scale only does ounces? Or a project needs feet, but you're staring at a ruler with inches? Well, today, we're going to clear all that up. We're going to demystify unit conversions with one simple, super powerful rule. So, picture this. You're at the hardware store. You need exactly 3 feet of wood for a new shelf. Easy enough, right? But then you see the sign. The price is per inch. So, how many inches do you actually need to ask for? This isn't some trick question from a math test. This is the kind of stuff we run into all the time. And that little hardware store problem, it's a perfect example of what we're talking about here, the everyday conversion. These little math puzzles are everywhere, from the kitchen when you're baking to the garage when you're building something. Now, here's the thing. This isn't really about being good or bad at math. It's much more like learning a new language, or at least a new dialect. Inches and feet, they're just different words for length. Grams and kilograms, different words for weight. All we need is to know how to translate between them. So, how do we get fluent in this language of measurement? Well, it turns out there's pretty much one single rule that can handle almost any conversion you throw at it. Let's get into it. The big idea here is that these systems, feet, inches, meters, grams, they aren't random. Not at all. They're built on a clear, predictable logic. There are basic facts, right? Like we all know how many inches are in a foot. Once you have that fact, all you need is the key to unlock the conversion. And you know what? That key is incredibly simple. And here it is. This is what I call the golden rule. If you are converting to a larger unit, you divide. Think about it like cashing in 100 pennies for one single dollar bill. You're dividing. And if you're converting to a smaller unit, you multiply. That's like breaking that dollar bill back into 100 pennies. So just remember this. Divide up, multiply down. That's it. That's the whole secret. And putting this rule into action is as easy as a quick 3-step checklist. First, identify your direction. Are you going to a bigger unit or a smaller one? Second, choose your tool. Based on that direction, will you divide or multiply? And third, find the fact. What's the actual conversion number? Like 12 inches equals 1 foot. All right, enough talk. Let's actually put our golden rule and that 3-step checklist to the test with a couple of real-world examples. Okay, let's start with a classic. You've got 24 inches, and you need to know how many feet that is. So let's run it through our checklist. Step 1, direction. We're going from inches to feet. That's from a smaller unit to a larger one. Step 2, tool. Since we're going larger, the rule says we divide. And finally, step 3, the fact. We know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So all we have to do is take our 24 inches and divide by 12. And of course, that gives us 2 feet. Simple, clean, it works every single time. See how easy that was? Let's try another one, but this time with weight. What about converting 1,500 grams into kilograms? Don't worry, the rule works exactly the same way. So, we know the fact here is that there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. Now, let's think about our direction. We're going from grams, a small unit, to kilograms, a much larger one. And our rule tells us to divide up. So we take that 1,500 and divide it by 1,000. And that gives us 1.5 kilograms. And what's so cool about this is that it shows the rule works perfectly, whether you're using feet and inches or the metric system. The logic is totally universal. Okay, one last one. We've done a couple with division, so let's flip it and try out multiplication. How would you convert 5 miles into yards? And we know the fact is that 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So this time, our direction is from a large unit, miles, to a much smaller one, yards. And what does our rule say? Multiply down. So we take our 5 miles and we multiply by 1,760, which gives us 8,800 yards. See, it doesn't matter if you're going up to a bigger unit or down to a smaller one, the rule holds true. Divide up, multiply down. It's that simple. And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. This isn't just about passing a math class. This is about giving yourself a practical, everyday superpower. Think about it this way. Just like time has its own system, seconds, minutes, hours, all our measurement systems have their own internal order too. And once you see that structure, you realize it's not chaotic at all. It just has its own language, and now you know how to speak it. So what's the bottom line? All unit conversion really comes down to is a single choice. Are you going to divide up or multiply down? It's a simple skill that works for length, weight, volume, you name it. And honestly, seeing that system behind it all just makes the world feel a little bit less chaotic, doesn't it? So now you have it. You have the rule, you've got the checklist, you've got the superpower. So I'll just leave you with this final little challenge. Knowing that there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile, how many feet are in 10 miles? Come on, you already know exactly what to do.